I'm continuing to read extracts from Sandy Millar's book All I Want Is You. And today, this is the greatest in the kingdom. It begins with a reading from Matthew chapter 18. Jesus called a little child and had him stand among them. And he said, I tell you the truth. Unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Therefore, whoever humbles himself like this child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. Now, isn't that one of the strangest things that Jesus could have said? How many humble children do you know? I mean, humble, as in, my dad's got a much smaller car than yours. Our team isn't quite as good as yours. So I don't think Jesus can have meant that. Now, what does he mean? Let me suggest a possibility or two. 1. Children expect to work from someone else's agenda. I still remember one of my earliest regular questions. What am I to put on today? That means, what's happening today? Is it gardening clothes or smarter? Gumboots or shoes? There's an expectation that there is a plan somewhere of which I am a part. The only question is, what is it? It doesn't take much imagination to see what Jesus is driving at. Paul, in his letter to the Ephesians, makes it the theme tune of the entire letter. God has a plan. His will, which he purposed in Christ, is to be put into effect when the times will have reached their fulfillment, to bring all things in heaven and on earth together under one head, even Christ. So it's working clothes today. It's astonishing how far the church has got from this understanding. We seem to think that God's plan for salvation was so that we could be happy, so that we could enjoy contentment, peace, joy, etc. here on earth until the Lord returns, and then continue on in this happy state in heaven too, forever. Of course, it's nonsense. But it is only possible to think like this at all because it is a half-truth. God does want us to be happy. But we shall only be happy if we find out what he's doing and throw ourselves into that. Later on in this letter, Paul says he's praying for the Christians that God may give you the spirit of wisdom and revelation so that you may know him better. That's what we need. To see what the Father is doing, as Jesus did, and do that. To fit in with his plans and be ready to scrap our own. To be like a child. Second, children are always looking forwards. Obvious, really. They've nowhere else to look. But what about us? It means sitting light to the past and being excited about the future, even if we don't know what it will bring. I've noticed in one very small way of my own that I can't get as excited as I once could about photographs of the children when we were young. We've moved on. Things have changed. I have loved each stage as it has come. The only question now is, what next? Of course, I look back with deep gratitude, wonder and praise to God for all the many ways he's blessed us as a family and as a church in the past. Well, that's a springboard, a launching pad to the future. I encourage all of us of my age and greater to see ourselves as moving towards the dawn, like the Old Testament character Enoch, who walked with God and was not. He'd moved, or been moved on. That means the big C. Change. The graffiti artist was right after all. Change is here to stay.